My cup there when it gets hot. Welcome to the Talk It Out Show. I'm your host, Joanne. We would like to let you know that this show is for entertainment purposes only. If you want to look us up on Facebook or Twitter, go ahead and look us up on Talk It Out Show. And if you want to go ahead and email us at talkitoutshow@gmail.com. All right, now if you want to physically send any of your questions to us, you can go ahead and send it to our P.O. Box at P.O. Box 901043, Portland, Oregon 97290. All right, you guys, well, as you know, I have my panel of lovely ladies, and we're all here today, so it's a great happy Friday. Going to introduce those lovely ladies to you. We have Lydia. Hello, everyone. All right, we have our lovely Valerie.
I agree. Happy Friday.
All right, it's good to have you here. And we have our lovely Lauren.
Hi, everyone.
All right, you guys. All right, guys, you know we want to help one of our lovely listeners out there. And it's been interesting to have us all here for this question. All right, so it says, ladies, I need your advice badly. I am a 44-year-old woman who is married with a good husband and family. But the problem is my husband is not sexually satisfying to me. My closest friend has experienced the same thing with her husband. She suggested that we try swinging or bringing another partner into the bedroom to spice it up. Needless to say, neither of our husbands were open to it. So my friend and me decided to attend our own first swingers function together just for the fun and kicks. While we were there, we met two beautiful, gorgeous, beautiful young men, aged 25 and 27. I am 41, and I'm 44, and my friend is 43. So you can see the age difference. Let's just say we had an all-night experience to remember with those two. I was mainly intimate with the 27-year-old, but me and my girlfriend swapped partners throughout the night. They definitely put something on us. As a result, me and my friend and the two other ladies we met at the first swinger party meet up twice, once or twice a month at hotels and invite me, including the two that we met that night, for an all-night free for all oblivious to our husbands. My friend has disclosed to me that she wants to leave her husband and family to be with the 28-year-old and continue swinging. Me, I am torn between the new sexual pleasure I have and my husband and family. How do I go about easing myself away from this so I can keep my family? Should I tell my husband? Any advice will help.
That's a mess.
So she didn't include her husband?
No.
I said the husbands didn't want to do
cheated.
it. The husbands never wanted to do it when they came to the husbands about it.
She didn't want to do it.
So her and her best friend was having the same situation with the husbands. They decided the husband said no, they don't want to do it, and they ended up doing it on their own.
You know what? That fruit looked good to Eve too, and so therefore they got kicked out of the Garden of Eden. You're going to get kicked out of your home. You're going to lose everything. And that partner that looks so fantastic to you right now will disappear. And you're not going to be anything but an old woman. And I just want you to know that sometimes the devil will take you somewhere that you can't pay for. And when he takes you to the highest of heights, he'll drop you. And you're going to be by yourself. And so think about that. No, I wouldn't tell your husband. I would stop. And I wouldn't tell your husband anything. And think about it. Your family or a few moments of pleasure.
Yeah.
Your family or a few moments of pleasure. Everything that you work for, your husband, your kids, your home. I just had that conversation today. Mm-hmm. Or nothing. And that's what you're balancing. That's what you're juggling. And I'm disappointed in you because you took it was a narcissistic move. Oh, I'm not feeling it. They're not satisfying me, so I need to go and get something else. Oh my gosh. You're a family or nothing. That's your choice.
Yeah. Because every day ain't going to be roses in that room. I'm going to tell you that right now. Some days you're not there, and sometimes, to be honest, they ain't there. You know? But there's no reason to violate. That's one of the enemy's strong things that he uses against the family is to get you violate your marriage. Just violate your marriage. And once you violate it, it's really, I mean, I can see the guilt on you already. Should I tell him? Should I not tell him? You know, because you're feeling guilty about how you violated. Because, like you said, the enemy will drop you like a hot tomato. And he just about dropped you. That's why you're confused on what you should do. You know, so even, I don't know, when you come clean, that marriage may not stay together, you know? Because that's a hard
That's why Lauren said don't say anything.
I wouldn't say that.
It's guaranteed. I don't know.
Just think about it.
Because you will
Just think about
lose.
if your husband came and
Maybe
said, you know what, I've been having sex with these women and they're 25 and stuff like that, and they really good, and so I didn't know if I wanted them or y'all, so I wanted to come clean. Man,
it's over.
It's over. The trust is over. Your marriage will be over.
Even if you got divorced, they would side with
well, the marriage is already over. I don't know why we having this conversation like there's something to fix. It's already over. You went outside your marriage.
I couldn't believe she went over there and talked to him about it. Talking about, can we get a threesome?
They're both your best friend.
She expected him to say
yes.
Yes.
No, something wrong with you and your best friend, period.
The best friend is an imp.
It's him.
Is an imp.
Best friend, they both together. That ain't
the best friend is an imp. The one that she was thinking about, and the imp said, "Yes, let's do it." It's the devil's friend.
Excuse me, she could be the imp too.
No, she.
No, she the imp too.
Somebody should have said no.
Just because she
But
wants to
they
stay in her
both
marriage
went
doesn't mean.
And they both said no.
Yeah,
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. Yes, you're right. Both of them are imp. Even this one, but the one said, "Yeah, let's do it." I'm not saying she's following the devil's rule. It's not nothing about this is gonna work out right.
And I ain't never seen it.
I'm just saying the whole purpose of this is my thing is you already left your marriage. Period.
Yes.
When your husband decided he didn't want to do the threesome that you already have been doing, and my thing is, you guys are just not only are you having sex with these men, I guarantee you having sex with your friend. Yeah. So all y'all having is y'all swapping y'all doing it, and it get freaky because you know the two guys like I want to see y'all doing it, and all this other stuff. So it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and I ain't never seen a man. Now maybe I'm living in a different time zone warp. But I don't think a man like another man, how do we say this in England, peeing on his area. You know what I mean?
No, they don't.
So now he might let another woman in there, and because he's in control, he's a man. You know what I mean? I said, but he ain't gonna allow another man to come into his territory.
Exactly.
I don't even know how you can even ask that question.
So she said, buy yourself I'm thinking,
a play toy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think she was trying to say vibrator.
That's what she said.
It will rock your world, and you can use it with your husband.
Right.
Communicate your pleasure is your responsibility.
That's what she said.
Exactly. And now, so what you doing sounds like an orgy, and it is.
That is.
Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, if they could have, when they came to them with that, even before to me,
husband should have been looking for.
I feel that before they even came to their husbands with the even thought process, I was like, why didn't they sit down with them, their own husbands, and have that communication and talk about their sex life and work something out differently? Why, and try some other things before you go all the way over there. What makes
Why am I talking about that to my friend anyway? I'm married.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Why am I talking to my friend? Girl, my husband ain't hitting it down. I'm just not getting satisfied. Wait. Hold on. No. Here we go. And he ain't satifying me. Then you say no. Then you say, girl, mine neither. What should we do about it? Girl, let's go get some men.
I'll try yours and let you know.
No, we don't want to do that one. No. Let's go get some men. Okay, girl, that sounds better than talking to him.
Let's go get some men.
I mean,
how did
that conversation come up like that? Like in my mind, I'm constantly thinking, if I'm talking to my friends, the first thing they're gonna be like, "Well, what you need to do is probably do this and this."
Right.
They're giving me ideas. How did we get to? Girl, let's be
Because they wanted
to.
Why they wanted to? It was in the back of their head.
They was like, girl,
that
one dude look good here.
And who?
Girl, would you say anything if I missed
Right,
it?
who?
Somebody. You don't say no when I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. That's just
that's not a good friend.
Both of them are good friends. They both in it. There's not one or the other. They both in it. They partners and they happy. The only difference is the guy that the girl's sleeping with said, yeah, leave your man to be with me, and hers didn't. That's why she's trying to save her marriage.
Yeah,
He was like, I didn't think this was that serious.
Right.
You know, you married. I didn't think it was that serious. Well,
they
the other guy was like this. Now I want to be with you. So you know, and now she want to work on her relationship.
And 9 out of 10 times, I'm gonna just tell you 10 out of 10 times. It ain't even 9 out of 10. When a man come, he coming for a purpose. You know, so he coming for something. You know, he ain't just talking to you because he talking to you. So you think maybe he talking to you because you think he cute, but at the end of the day, he talking to you because he trying to get to your money or he trying to get to something from you. He's not just coming to you because you think because you fine. You know what I mean? You think you fine. You know, or for it, because it ain't usually the top of their, you know, they like it, but once they hit it, they usually don't go ahead with it.
Always remember, it's inside a woman and outside a man.
And man is making different.
And the person on here says she was looking for someone to co-sign, and she found it.
Yeah.
Her crazy
so she was
friend.
looking for us.
And
That's always the
you
case.
gotta understand, because think about it. We all here are women. So you and Lauren are closer than we are, and me and Joanne are closer. Now, if I'm coming over here talking to Joanne, and you go over there talking to Lauren and saying, you know, my husband just ain't hitting it, okay, Lauren's approved, so she gonna be like, girl, you might need to pray about it.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Joanne gonna take me to a sex store, and we're gonna go get this vibrator, get this. This is gonna make them last longer, girl. This is gonna make it bigger, girl. This is gonna do this, and that's what a friend normally does. Now you go home and do that. Don't be thinking about nobody else. That's stupid. You're over there. You've been with him too long. That's what the conversation should have been.
That's what it should be.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're gonna have different conversations with whatever type of friends you have.
Because you go looking for the ones that's gonna amen your corner.
Exactly.
You know,
There
so
you go.
But
that-
either one of us, even if we would like
they
she
wouldn't
was
come to
saying-
me because they know
They
I'm
wouldn't
serious.
come to none of
But
us.
I'm
So they
saying,
gotta go
even
to
if
church.
we
I think
came,
to
even
the
when
first
she's
chance.
in the scenario, even if I came to Lauren or if I came to Valerie, either way, it ain't gonna go that way. They're gonna still try to give me some, like you said, they make me praying or whatever.
We ain't gonna be high five talking about let's go get out the leg.
But it's either way that it's gonna still encourage me to stay in my relationship and do what I need to do in my relationship.
But
It's not
like
gonna-
you said, she went
you
searching
know.
for the person that would
Yeah,
agree
who's
with
gonna
her.
agree.
And this was she goes, at 20 years age difference, they're looking for a sugar mama.
Right. Yes.
That's what
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
That is so
They
true.
looking for
Yeah.
somebody to get your money, that money.
Mhm.
Well, who was in the movie? You know I always relate everything to a movie.
Mm.
Did y'all see that movie when that woman, she fell in love with that man, he wooed her? Until he
Oh,
got
yeah,
her.
I just
What's
watched
the
it.
name of that?
It on
It's
Netflix?
really good.
Netflix is the Tyler Perry
on
one?
Netflix. Mhm.
Yeah, the Tyler Perry one.
I wanted to say it wasn't falling. It might have been Falling from Grace.
Yes, that's it.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes,
He beat her.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
she
then
ended up
took him,
she ended
yeah.
up
Oh,
killing-
yeah.
she ended up killing him, but he was
didn't
coming
kill him.
after her for money. And so she had money and he stole all her money. And then told her to shut up, he wasn't going nowhere. Until she almost lost her mind because she lost her job.
But he didn't.
Everything.
But see, he was wooing
And then come
elderly
find out
women.
wasn't even dead.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
wooing elderly people,
Yeah.
and that's really sad.
And
That's
people,
what's
when you
happening.
get a certain age,
Mhm.
you because your mind, your body is 50, 60, 70
Right,
years old.
yeah.
But your
Yeah.
mind is
Yeah.
still,
Young,
20,
yeah.
30,
Right.
Yeah.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So you that's why you look at these men and say, why is that man looking at that? Because in his mind,
Yeah.
he still got it like when he was young.
Yeah.
But he's limping on life.
Exactly.
But
He know he can get that. He
But
can
he,
get that.
That's like Tyler Perry's movie Boo. When he kept thinking he was I got this, I can get this, and he up here with the thing and in the wheelchair.
you be thinking you because your mind's still young, your mind's still like I got. So when people up there come on, yeah, he's cute and he likes me. No, he don't like
That's
you.
what I was trying to say. They
No,
coming
you
for a
got some.
purpose.
It's like when those old men, when the young women are with these old men, it's for the money.
It
And
is.
then when a young man is going with the woman, it's for the
The
money.
money.
And and they want you to know your position.
There you go.
And see, she didn't
You
know
are
her
at
position.
ATM.
So she didn't know her position.
No, she
So
did
he
not.
was like,
And then wait a minute, 5 years from now, You gonna look at your husband who's probably remarried with somebody else
And happy.
and happy, and
Ooh,
you're
you
gonna be
be
like,
mad.
I wish,
You gonna be
because
mad.
you see, when you do that, when the devil
And that woman
somewhere-
gonna talk to him about the sex. She gonna have a conversation. Let's do it like this. I need you to do it. Twist me like a pretzel over here. Do this. And he gonna be doing it all. He gonna be good in bed while you sit up here, went over to a
No. You won't have nobody. I'm gonna say that right
You ain't
now.
gonna have nobody.
Because see, your husband, you ain't got no money no more. Your
You don't look good. You can't get your hair done, your nails done.
No, you can't. No, you can't do none of that.
You ain't got a 2-income household.
You gotta work really hard and see. Wait a minute. After you get about 50 or 60, all corporations they don't say it, but you gonna have to be laid off.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna be saying, smiling to my hi, welcome to Walmart.
Yeah.
Oh,
You guys got kids too.
Get
So.
your nails
so
done.
mean.
Yeah.
Can't get your hair done.
Yeah.
Can't buy that
Or then
dress.
with your see, no, you, I hate to say this, but you know, even though I wouldn't say nothing to your husband, only because I don't know if that will still save it because I think you.
You already know. You already know. But men can feel it just like women can feel it when there's something wrong. You can feel it. You can feel when they're doing something. You know, I agree. I don't think you should run out there. That's just a hidden secret that you take to your grave with you.
Yeah, you might have to take that
That's
one.
something
Yeah.
that people talk about. They took it to their grave. You know,
something
they
like
say
that.
that with recipes and stuff like that. Shit
Yeah, but understand.
That's not a good
But
recipe.
understand the enemy ain't gonna let it go out that quickly. He may make sure that it comes up.
That's
Yeah.
And he goes, that's how the enemy does.
That's how he do.
He's gonna reveal you. He's gonna show
Yeah,
because that's where we got that whatever goes
We're
on in the dark comes
Yeah,
to light.
comes to
That's
light.
the enemy bringing it into the
Yeah,
light.
yeah.
But I'm just saying you need to stop and you need to distance yourself.
And pray.
And
It's so weird because I'm telling you.
And also forgive
I
yourself.
watched this
Forgive
movie
yourself.
last
You know.
night.
if you
Even
sorry.
my-
Yeah. If you're sorry.
If you sorry, well,
No, because I don't think I think that she's guilty, but she's having a good time. She just wanted to know if
because she
go?
said, "How do I go about easing my way out of the situation?"
Yeah.
Oh, so
And
she's still
how-
playing with him.
yeah.
Well, she's saying, "How do I
The
ease
thing
myself?"
about it is, the friend,
So she can
the
keep her
friend,
family.
The guy told the friend, "I want to be with you.
Mhm.
Leave your husband."
Mm-hmm.
Her guy didn't say that.
He did not.
No.
So now she need to ease her way out because she still like it because it's still going to bed,
Mm-hmm.
and then get back to her husband who's born in bed.
There we go. That other movie, Tyler Perry.
Remember
Remember that girl and she was with that white man? She was a sister. She was
Oh,
with that
one
white
of the
man.
praise.
Oh,
The
yeah, remember that phrase.
Okay.
Woo, that
And
movie
she
wasn't
went
no
playing
joke.
with talking about he
Oh.
gonna be with me at the
Yeah.
end. He gonna be with me, and this ain't even your
Yeah.
This ain't even your
She didn't
child.
have nothing
This
at
ain't
the end.
even
She
your
had a
child.
little old place.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
making
and
a
she had
point
a
here.
visitation with the kids.
And when you seen her, she was limping down the street. He was a far guy. They ended up with their own bill. I don't remember this. Ended up with his own or had his business.
Construction, wasn't it construction?
Yeah, but she was
Mhm.
limping back
Yeah.
to her own room.
Yeah.
Didn't even have her baby because I don't even know.
Yeah,
what
she had
and
a
then she
baby.
had a baby. Okay,
They
Yeah.
did. He would have to. They had visitation type thing or
Mhm,
whatever.
mhm.
But and she was sitting there
But
trying
she
to
lost
he
everything,
did not
everything.
like her.
everything. That's why it's not
She's
worth
nice.
it. If you're not going to be in the marriage, then get out of the marriage.
Yeah.
If
That's
you're
all I'm saying.
if you're going to be in it, then be in it to win it. You know what I mean? But if not, just step away from that, and that way you don't even have to go through any of this like this.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But when you start playing and cheating
Mhm.
inside of your marriage, you can believe whatever you're doing in the dark
Yeah.
shall come to the
Yeah.
light. It's going to come.
Yeah.
If they end up walking up on you accidentally
Yeah.
or whatever happened, because God, I mean, it has a way.
No, your friends gonna tell
You
you.
probably show it. They'll tell you
Your
what
friend
hotel
gonna
y'all
tell you.
at and everything. And your husband
Yeah.
gonna tell, or he accidentally came up on there for some reason. Somebody sent him to that place, you know, and here he comes.
So here's another thing. It says if you were raw dogging it, please tell him because your husband doesn't deserve the STDs,
Yeah.
sexual
True.
transmitted disease,
Oh, yeah.
spiritually
That's
transmitted
true.
disease,
Yeah.
That's
or
true.
sexually transmitted
And that will
dependence.
That's right.
Yeah.
That probably.
And the thing about it is even in the and when you look and listen to the question, they once they started getting into the habit of doing that once a month thing or whatever, once or twice, they were inviting all kinds of people. So
Mhm.
you got you don't know who she slept with. Because they had got quite a few different people going on.
And I like how she said it. You're bringing in bringing in STDs, and then split it up into sexually transmitted disease, spiritually transmitted disease,
that's
the one.
or sexually transmitted dependence. So those are things
exactly.
right there.
That's not fair to your husband.
And really, you wouldn't have to do all that if you would have just been talking to your husband or come up with some new things. And people look at me and say I'm crazy, but you could have sat down with your husband and watched some pornos and tell him, "Oh, can you do that, baby?" So you guys can have that visual together, so he can get it, so you guys can have that relationship. But there's so many different ways. You could have went to sex stores. There's so many different ways that you could have pumped him up to even feel on your side, because he might not want to use to it. But there's certain toys he probably would have wanted to use to make it. And there's different games to play, and they talk to you about that at the sex stores. They talk to you. You could have went to those sex parties. They have those conversations there. So you could have made your sex life better with your husband by just communicating
together.
And he probably wanted that, but then I started thinking she probably boring.
Yeah, he probably didn't know how to twist you up like a pretzel or tie you up. Or, he probably didn't know he can do all that stuff to you because you guys never had that conversation. And he probably felt uncomfortable, and you probably felt uncomfortable. But somebody should have been an adult and said, let's work it out. He didn't go out and cheat. And when you brought it to him, you knew darn well. Once you brought, can we bring somebody in the room? And he said no. You knew you had a good man. You knew you had a good man, because most men desire to have three women. And I did say most. I didn't say all. I said most. Men desire to have three women. So he said, threesome.
Yeah.
So you should have been appreciating and like, that should have told you, I need to stop and work this out with my man. That's what it should have told you. Even after you made that mistake. Oh, no, he don't even want to? Oh, I got a good one here, because most men want it. And that would have been the clink time.
I guess the bad part about this is that
you were trying to bring another man in.
To me, it's like you come into us with this question after all this stuff
you didn't write it
transpired, and it would have been great, because I do recall us having that one time where we did have a question where somebody was having an issue, but she was talking to us before anything. You know what I mean? She asked that before. Now you done did everything. Now you trying to ask us that we sure can't fix none of this. This is a mess.
This is already done.
And you didn't even come. If you would have came at the beginning before, either the thought was there.
You
didn't want to do that.
Nobody want to do that. There's a lot of people. It's after the fact.
Yeah, they don't.
When they want to come, because when they first do it, she went to the person that she thought would be giving her the amen.
She got her amen.
So she got her amen.
But
so now
this person said,
it's terrible. It's a mess now. And no matter how it is, I agree with the writer that said, your husband is due to know.
Yes.
But your marriage will be over.
Right.
Because that's worse than anything. Yeah. So you have multiple men, a whole bunch of men in the room.
Right.
There's no.
Well, the thing is,
he will never respect you no more.
He was doing it every month.
No, he's not. It's gone.
You're doing it every month, once or twice a month.
That's it. He's done with you.
And you just random people. I mean, come on. There's just no way.
And so the person on here also said you could have went to YouTube. There's a sexologist named Tommy Morgan and a Royal Fetish XXX.com. There are options for help. So these people are on YouTube that could have helped you with your sexual needs, with your husband, to spice things up. And there's everything. You could have just Googled it and it would have told you stuff like that too. Because I didn't even know about this, but I'm just saying you could have Googled or YouTube
right there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of information that's out there that you chose not to do.
Right.
Because it was selfish reasons. You didn't want to make your sexual life better with your husband. Because the thing about it is, you've been with him for a while. You guys had kids together. And this could have been a conversation that came up a long time ago. You've been desiring this, and then you just needed, like they said, an amen choir. So you went, it probably even a good friend. You just went to an associate. She agreed. Y'all did it, and that's it. And you mad because her man wanted her, that she cheated. The 25-year-old want her, or 27-year-old.
You don't want
her. But she don't care.
Yeah, but then, I mean, her feelings
when she get broke,
Yeah, her friend really.
Some of these women could be the ones that carrying all the money. She might not be broke. She might be having the money, but she gonna be the one to come up with the disease. She gonna be the one that's left alone and everybody's gonna dog and disrespect you.
You can't tell me that they had this party. The men was coming. It had to be a fee involved for them to come. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, they didn't just go, okay,
not necessarily, because there's a
we're gonna
lifestyle
all
out there.
just come over to my house and whatever men want to show up. And you know, we're gonna have some older women there.
I'm gonna tell you what they did.
And they said, okay, you take they gonna pay you.
No, I'm gonna tell you what they did. There was no money involved.
There had to be some money.
No, what they did is they went to the sex club. Did you know? Here we have tons of sex clubs. We have a highest rate of strippers. Strip club. We have some sex clubs. They went to the sex club, met some people.
Yeah.
They did it up in the sex club, and then they said, "We like this. Here's my number."
Okay, the English. So to go to this sex club, there's got to be a fee to come in. There's got to be a fee where they're going to come in.
Yeah. But after that,
no, women are cheaper to get into this club than the men.
Probably, I feel like the women should have been, free or something like used to be.
No, the women are like little.
We don't have any respect anymore because y'all all out of order. So the women got to do nothing. They just show up, and you show up because you're just.
No, the men pay more to go in there, but then afterwards they probably meet up, or they might meet at the sex club all the time because they're probably members of the sex club, and that's where they have a sex club.
That's where the money at. So
no, the money ain't going to neither one of them.
No, it's going to the owner.
To the club.
No, it's like going to a regular club. It's not like going to a house party and they call it a sex club. It's like they have a building.
It's a club.
It's a club. Like going to club.
They even have food.
Like the swingers. Like they got the swinger club.
It's all in the same building. They just have different dates.
So they probably go that once or twice. What they're talking about is on probably the day that they have the swinger nights. Because they have the swinger nights and stuff. So
get out of here. Get out of town, baby. Get out of town.
Yeah, you get
it's in your town.
And everything.
It's in your town, Valerie. You ain't got to get out of town because it's in your town. It's in your town.
Oh.
There's 3 or 4 of them here.
I'm still shocked.
How you shocked?
No, there's 3 or 4 of them here.
Yeah. But what I was thinking, it was so funny because I watched this. It's so trippy that we got this question because I was watching this movie and I'm mad because the thing, I don't know if it was the internet or whatever, but cut off in the middle of it was a juicy part too. But it reminded me of this so bad, but it was the craziest movie. And I was watching it last night and it was and I think too, you know how sometimes I'm listening to Lydia talking about a communication thing. Because sometimes you get wrapped up in your life, both y'all living your lives or whatever, and then ain't nobody, they doing their thing or working or whatever. And then sometimes you can get in these situations and then you just be like, oh, we done messed up. How did this happen? But in this situation, both the husband and the wife, the husband was so into his job, but he was a parole officer. And so he had this difficult client, I guess, and she was just supposed to be like this young, pretty girl, whatever, that ended up basically beating her. I guess he was in an abusive relationship. He was beating a mess out of her. But because she tried to protect herself and try to almost killed him, then she had to go to jail or whatever. But then he was in jail too. But he was going to be getting out soon. So he's just about to watch her. He's a parole officer. But then his wife was a beautiful lady, and he made her stop everything when they had her daughter. And so she used to be a model that was about to make it or whatever. And so she kind of wanted to still do it. He said, no. You can't do this. Just be a wife, be my wife, and take care of the kids. He was like kind of controlling. Well, she met this random guy who drove an Uber or whatever, and then he ended up being a photographer. And so at the end of the day, it was so crazy because he was shooting her, doing some pictures for her or whatever, and her husband didn't know. Later on, he comes to find out that guy that was the photographer was her husband's co-worker's nephew. And she had already started having an affair with this guy because he was, and then she freaked out because he introduced her to a whole bunch of swingers, and she didn't know what was going on. But she was like, "What is this?" So then she tried to run away and be like, "Don't you ever talk to me again?" When she realized that what environment she was in. Come to find out later on, she was a designer of jewelry. And she had this big party, and they all ended up coming because his friend, his co-worker, brought the photographer. Then he was having sex with the lady he was on parole. her husband, and then her man that came out of jail came to everybody was at this party, and they both had never said nothing to each other. So they were sitting there trying to act normal with all their people, even the people that was trying to have the swingers, because she ran away, but all the swingers came to the party. It was just crazy. I was like, and it was like, what is y'all gonna do? Like that guy that he was sleeping with, the guy that her husband, he came and he hugged his wife, and he was like, "Oh, you're really nice and beautiful. He kept you tucked away." And I mean, it was a mess. Like it was just crazy. And I was like, that's what made me think about what Lauren said. What's done in the dark will come to light, because all that came to light. And they both wasn't saying nothing. They was just sitting at home depressed, and then they were later on like, I love you, da da da. And then the husband all of a sudden was like, well, maybe I met this guy, and you should probably start modeling. You could model. He want to be nice now because he done started sleeping with this lady. Not realizing the guy he recommended was the guy she was already sleeping with. I said, this is a mess.
Vicious circle.
That was.
And see, it all came around.
That was horrible.
And it came, and it made me think how important communication was. Because see, what was crazy at the beginning of the movie was she kept talking about, I'm just this housewife. I kind of still want to do my modeling, while I got these, my body's still okay. And he was just yelling at her and controlling. You need to do this, and he just told her to be my wife and be a mother. That's it. And he wasn't letting her have her life. So that's where she was sunk into her thing. But he got sucked into his stuff just from his job.
I think that's where a lot of people get so confused, is they don't understand marriage. They feel like if I get married, whatever my husband tells me to do, I need to do.
Right.
And it doesn't. You still have to be yourself.
Well, she was trying to be herself. He wasn't letting her. He was yelling.
He don't have that much control.
He was really
that's you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think we lose as a wife, we lose sight of, yes, I'm your wife, but still I'm me.
That's what she
and
did.
So
she
you don't have
any
control over me. I could do this. Either you're going to support me or you're not. That's it. Either, and if you don't support me, I'm just doing it on my own. And so I don't need to tell you the dates and stuff because you're not supporting me. That's it. We can't lose ourselves.
But I think what happened is because of that, there was that friction, and he wasn't, really supportive. That kind of made her go right into that with that guy.
Yeah, it still doesn't make an excuse.
No, I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying that what they're going.
I'm just saying altogether, because he wanted somebody exciting, and that's not just sitting at home in the housewife. But at the same time, he's trained that that's what a wife is supposed to do. So you lose your sense. But that's where, again, if we're not communicating and you create your own marriage, it's not like what everybody thinks it is. Yeah. It's your own creation of what you can handle and what he can handle. I can't handle being the wife that so-and-so is, but I can handle being the wife that my husband, I am to my husband. So we all have our own different, as I said, our lives are different, and we can't run our life in the one same pattern. And because there's no excuse for cheating, there's no excuse for any of the actions, because we chose to be something that we're not.
Well, I'd like to go back to the times of the 1800s.
Oh, no, not 1800s.
And everybody didn't get into bed with everybody.
They did.
And if they did and they got caught, they had to get married. And so I know, but it feels like in the 2020s, we're at 2020. We're in the millennium, they said. That people just are all over the place. They're not even they don't have no respect for them. They don't have no respect.
There's no boundaries.
They're just out there, they took away the value of that white dress, that beautiful white dress of being pure. The dress is gone. And so everybody just doing whatever everybody wants to do, and then they wonder why everything's so messed up, and we got all these diseases and stuff. Everybody, just everybody getting crunk.
That's a good way to say it. That's a good way to say it. But it is.
Go back to respecting ourselves and respecting instead of jumping all around from place to place and for the thrill of what I mean, because I agree with the girls. They got all the other things that you can buy for yourself if you have trouble. If you because it ain't but 10 seconds. How long it last?
Man,
some could go an hour, I guess, huh? Maybe.
Well, I'm just saying, but my thing is like you said, like I was listening to what Lauren said. It was for pleasure for how long? You giving up your all this that you work for that little bit of time of pleasure.
5 seconds. I counted one.
Go get something and pleasure yourself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like
What a little bit of time.
yeah, a little bit.
It wasn't a little bit of time.
But I'm just saying.
It wasn't a little bit of time.
Well, they've been doing it over some time. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, it wasn't a little bit of time.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, but you got. I mean, it's just so crazy when you think about. I don't know. You think about. It kind of reminds me when you was talking about back in the day when you was, you felt like you was, sinning or whatever, and when you decided, hey, I'm gonna do this, but then you're gonna be mad because you're like, okay, it better not be bad. I'm sitting there sinning. Don't give me no bad. It'd be a bad experience, and I'm sinning. I know I'm sinning, and I really don't want to sin, but I'm sinning, and then it's not good. It's like, no, this is horrible.
You don't know,
and
it was
don't know.
good. That's why she keep doing it.
Yeah, that's true.
It was good. That's why she keep doing it.
But she could, if she would.
And she likes that feeling.
But she could have that.
Even though they say sex is not a big part of a relationship, sometimes you just need those endorphins. You need to release. You need all that for yourself. And some people just want that sex craving moment. It is very addicting.
If you have a good experience.
It is
a lot of people
very addicting.
can talk about if they don't have that good of experience, or there's a lot of women in life who haven't even had an orgasm, and they be in their 40s and 50s or whatever.
A regular orgasm.
Yeah, like and so it's like it can be. It's kind of weird when we can have this conversation because everybody's different sexual experiences are different. So you don't know. And so if you got these ones that just really have these great sexual experiences and you know how good it can feel and you want that feeling but you ain't getting it, then it can desire it and then it can make your mind just doing all kind of stuff about how am I going to get that. Just like a drug addict. It's like a drug.
It is.
And it's like, okay, well, I want that feeling again. I want that feeling again. But if you ain't getting it, then you're like, I got to do what I got to do to get it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's the same thing. Because a drug addict is chasing that first, that first high.
That first high. After that, you just high.
Yeah, you just,
But sex is not always like that. You can get that feeling every time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
If the person's hitting the walls, right, and everything. Because a lot of people have never had vaginal orgasms. They only had clitoris orgasm. So those are things that you have to keep in mind. A clitoris orgasm is not as great as a vaginal orgasm. And if you haven't had it, and you finally get it, it is addicting, and it does make you crave it, and your body craves it. Your body craves it, and you can get it all the time if somebody knows how to hit the right spot. And I always say a man needs to know a woman's body and be in love with the woman's body, period, to be able to give that satisfaction. It is hard, and that's why she should have never played another playground, too, because it is hard, and now that's something hard that your husband may never be able to give you that certain orgasm that you ever had. And I think that's why it was in the Bible that don't have sex outside of your marriage. I mean, don't have sex, period, until you're married, because then you don't have nothing to compare. Because once you do, you're always in the back of your mind be like, shoot, I wish you would hit it like so and so. I wish you would, because you do have those mind gods. You have something to compare. But if you go into a marriage a virgin and then you just like, let's explore and find out these things, everything is good to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's being done properly, and a lot of men don't understand, they get satisfied regardless.
Yeah.
You know, some women can make it better than others, but they get satisfied regardless. Well, women, we could go and not even have orgasm. You're done.
Yeah.
And so it's those things. And not giving an excuse for it. It's just that it's one of those things that's addicting. So you should never have went outside your marriage, because that's something, if your husband couldn't do it before you went outside, he sure ain't going to be able to do it now.
And she would have never known.
No.
She would never know.
And that's the thing that you got to keep in mind, that you did this to yourself. You made yourself addicted to something that there's no way in the world that's going to ever clear it up. Period. And now, even if you told your husband and say he decided to stay with you, you still will never be satisfied, because you had what was great, and now he has to try to live up to what was great, and he might not be capable. He might not be able to hit those spots, because some of those spots are hard to hit.
Yeah.
So he might not be able to hit those spots. So those are different things that you have played yourself on to where I already said the marriage is already ruined, because I don't know how you're going to make everything work. Even if he decided to work it out with you, how would you be able to handle going back to mediocre.
Yeah.
When you
we've
had
already experienced
a ribeye, steak, lobster, and everything meal over here, and then you over here with this lonely old piece of chicken.
Okay. Piece of chicken.
I mean, I'm just saying.
It
It's
is,
one of
it
those
is.
things that you destroyed your marriage on your own.
Yeah.
And when you should have just worked it out, and whatever he could have did and changed to spice it up, you ruined that, because now you have something always to compare.
Yeah.
And that's where it is. And I blame a lot of stuff on society because they always make everything seem better.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid and people always made it sound like, oh, it's so good, lose your virginity, it's so good. And when I lost my virginity the first time, it was not good. And when I had sex after that, it was not good. So it was a lot of people lying to me about certain things. And that's what we're saying is like, sometimes we see things that might not be real. It just shows you. It just shows you. When you even think about reading books like the 50 Shades of Grey, that does not happen to 99% of the people in the world. It does not.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
Yeah.
But you get that 1% that it does. And you're trying to act like you're that 1%. And you're not that 1%.
Yeah,
So it's one of those things that you got to understand. You can't keep looking outside and I'm like, oh, that look good. Like, that'll be fun. Oh, this look like that'll be fun. Because it's not. It's not. And I think you overstepped your boundaries, which y'all do. And there's really no way to fix it. As Lauren said, you can't keep it to yourself because you might have an STD that you might pass on to him.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch of different STDs, as the young lady on the line said. So this, to me, is a lot. You made this mistake, and now you gonna have to live with whatever the consequences is. And even if he decides to keep you, it's still gonna be a consequence because you're not gonna ever get to feel it, and you're gonna continue to cheat because of that. So to me, you should just end your relationship because it's never gonna be satisfied.
He said with you, he has so many trust issues, is ridiculous. If
you
won't
won't care
honest, because of the fact that once you tell him and you tell him how many people you were with and that he need to get himself checked out and this, that's already something in itself that you're going to be dealing with. And if he did stay with you, oh my gosh, the trust issues is just going
But she won't care because if he stay with her and he don't trust her, I mean, she like, and you ain't satisfying me. So I'm back out cheating again. Because that's what it is. And
on the positive side, though, we all know that you messed up. You know you messed up.
We didn't beat that horse.
Yeah, the horse is dead.
The horse was dead when she said her first sentence because he was talking about it.
But on the positive side is that, and I think Valerie said it, okay, you're going to have to stop. You're going to have to get real with yourself. You got to forgive yourself. You got to really, this is something that is a God thing. Because you're not in that realm right now. You need to stop and really think about it. You may lose everything, that's true enough. But you don't want to make the same mistake later on. And like I said, you're at the age where you're still young, you're still attractive and all that kind of stuff. But you need to really, really look into yourself and get humble yourself. Turn from your wicked ways, and then look to God and let Him direct your steps. If everything is gracious and your husband does forgive you, just count it all joy and give it an amen for that. If he doesn't, you're gonna have to start again.
Start over.
And let me tell you, you don't want to start with the 22 or 28-year-old person. You don't want to do that. You need to really start with you. And that's the thing, because the problem it's not any of that outer stuff. The problem is within inside you, and you need to deal with that.
And because she's in the prime of her life, and you're at I would call your sexual peak. And so therefore when people get at that time of their lives and they're in that hype of your body, then you have to learn other ways to satisfy that urge, you know what I mean? Because it's strong and it I can't say it leave tomorrow. They tell me that even when you're in your 60s, it still keeps coming around. I said, I don't know, somewhere that I guess it'll die. But what did you get out of this? I mean, if you look back on this thing, that's what I do whenever I find myself in a bad position or I've done something that I shouldn't have. and I faced what the problem was and what I did, and then I said, okay, what did you get out of that, Valerie? What did you learn about this that will change my life? Because that is something in
Here's
you.
a lesson.
There's something in you, that needs to change and to turn around, because it's an inner thing. And so somewhere in there, your mind maybe became fantasized. I really can't say what was happening, but I do know that's something you got to look within yourself and then turn that's what they say, you turn from your wicked ways, turn, because that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying, do.
Well,
so
thank you guys so much for being with us and listening to us today, and hopefully we helped someone out there because we gave a lot of advice. Thank you so much. We will see you next time on the Talk It Out Show.